How the heck are you? This is Centauri Stir Fry. Hope you guys are being excellent to each other out there. Today we have a new comic, Daredevil number 3, and an old statue, the Bullseye comic kit from Sideshow Collectibles, 2010. Yeah, it's an oldie. First, I'd like to talk about Daredevil, one of my new favorite series. It's only the third issue. Daredevil's on the run. He's injured. These cops are coming after him. He's having a really hard time. He's not at 100%, and he's just getting his butt kicked left and right in this book. It's like the end. It's like the end of Lethal Weapon. It's like when Riggs and Gary Busey are fighting that, in the lawn. All the cops just stand back and let him do it. That's kind of what happens in this book. So if you like Lethal Weapon, you're gonna love Daredevil. And Daredevil's like his internal monologues, like, "Oh, I can do this. I'm the GD Daredevil. I can do this," and he just gets his lights knocked out. The cop kicks his butt, handcuffs him, throws him in there, and then he's saved by none other than the Punisher in a really, really cool way. Very well done, and I think this book needs a little bit more attention. There's some good stuff out there. We got your Venom, your Immortal Hulk, but this deserves a chance. So if you're a Daredevil fan, but you're just sick of Marvel, man, come back and check out Daredevil. Give it a chance, because I think Chip Zdarsky and Chichetto are delivering on that book. Let's take a DD sip right here. Here he is. The Bullseye comic kit by Sideshow Collectibles, next to the Batman Blackest Night Batman Pop. 5th scale comic kit. Let's see how tall he is. 17 inches, so he's kind of a little guy. I like the pose of the figure. I think it's pretty cool. The head sculpt is definitely kind of wacky, I think. But I always liked Bullseye's costume. I think it's pretty cool. He's got some pretty good musculature, some pretty good anatomy. It's not mind-blowing, but he's just kind of a simple character. One of probably the most sadistic villains in the Marvel Universe, a real Class A jerk-off. I still have fond memories of seeing him battle Captain America during the Streets of Poison miniseries. I loved it. It was Ron Lim artwork. It was superb. It was great. Not a huge, imposing, crazy-looking, mind-blowing piece, but if you're a fan of Daredevil or the Punisher or street-level characters in the Marvel Universe, I think it's pretty cool. It's not bad at all. All right, let's get a little closer on this thing. Fresh. Here's the base. Pretty simple. The Bullseye design, nothing much to it. It's pretty classy though, clean. The paint looks like it's pretty good. I mean, for the most part, it's all there. One thing I did notice is this guy has gigantic freaking feet. I know you can't tell from this, but in proportion to the rest of the body, they're enormous. They're freakishly large. Yeah, so he's got big old white boots. Big old white boots. Don't step on them boots or he'll stab you in the neck and you'll bleed out and you'll die, embarrassing your whole family. Yeah, so don't do that. Don't step on this dude's boots. I have a feeling that's why they're white. He's psychotic. Trouser area, the shorts. But the blue, there's something it's not just straight black. It's kind of cool. There's actually some very, very faint blue highlights that kind of, I guess, just kind of show off that muscle just a little bit. It's all sculpt, by the way, no mixed media. It gives you that impression that maybe Bullseye does his laundry, and I have a feeling he probably irons all this stuff out himself. He seems like a meticulous kind of guy, and I'm sure he doesn't take any chances, wants to look his best. You got some wrinklage there, but that's just the way clothing works. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Anyway, interesting though, this little holster here, which I'm assuming has a gun. Thought he was more of a hands-on type of guy, but there is some leather textures on the side, which is actually pretty good and impressive. It seems like statues nowadays, they're all about the detail, almost to the point where it's almost ridiculous. Now, I'm not talking poop, but I'm just saying, Prime 1, their detail is so insane that you can see the stitching in my freaking oven mitt, It's come on, stitches aren't that big. Your mom must love you. She's really stitching the heck out of that glove and that cape. Textures and details aren't enough for me. I guess I'm just not a statue guy. That was a long rant. Sorry about that. Anyway, nice trousers there, buddy. Now to the torso area, which I think has some awesome anatomy. That whole arm, that looks so natural and very cool. Man, it just looks really good. And my favorite part of it, actually, is right here. This part up here, I don't know if you can see that. But the way that this shoulder comes up and it's kind of distorting his chest, man, it's so good. That is to me, a very natural looking pose. I dig it. The sculpt of this body anyway is just freaking good. They did a really, really good job for this guy. He's not big, he's a little dude. But man, does he cause a lot of trouble for people. He could almost take Captain America. He killed Elektra, for Pete's sakes. Beaten Daredevil. He's beaten the Punisher. I gotta admit though, one of my favorite stories lines involving him was The Dark Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis, where he assumes the role of, Hawkeye. That's right. So the Dark Avengers were after the Skrull invasion, the secret invasion, and Norman Osborn became the hero. Look at that back. That's pretty good back sculpt. I like that. But Norman Osborn was the Iron Patriot. Daken, Wolverine's son, was Wolverine. The Scorpion version of Venom was Spider-Man in a black suit. And then Bullseye, their Hawkeye. And he was an insane person. It seems like nowadays he's treated as a joke, but man, in the 80s and even the early 2000s, he was a serious menace He was just one of those go-to, very popular villains, along with Sabretooth and Venom, but maybe just not as highly regarded. And I think at one point he even had adamantium laced bones. I don't know if he still does, but I remember having that at some point. They gave him some adamantium bones, give him a little more, you know, a little more pizzazz. Man, that's enough talking. Probably the weirdest part about this is how much I like the body sculpt and the base. I like the simplicity and the class of it. But when I look at his face, it's like, man, come on, dude. The guy looks like a pornographic photographer. Look at the guy's face. He's like, yeah, you want to be a model? That's what he looks like. He's like, yeah, I'll take your pictures. Let's go out to the woods. Let's go down to the subway. I'll take your pictures for free. Let me represent you. And he looks like a pornographer. That's what it is. The face sculpt is good. It just seems like the paint's a little weird. His teeth, they're, you know, he's just a weird guy. I mean, this is the exclusive, so it comes with an even weirder face. But for me, this guy looks like a pornographer. I don't trust this guy at all. This little ace. Probably just like decal. It looks great. Just more of that really, really cool body sculpt and just simple paint. And then this version, I don't know if both of them comes with this, I'm not real sure, but this is the knives behind his back. He's like just getting ready to pull those out behind his back or whatever. And then there's the Psy. So this one's kind of forward facing. Swing it back around. So you got that option. I think that's probably the regular. I don't know if the regular came with those throwing knives, but let's get higher. All right, here you go. Here's the EX for this sculpt, which I think looks pretty good actually. It's not bad. He's squinting. He's got his target and he's got that bullseye carved in his head, like, yes, just like the Ben Affleck feature film Daredevil. Man, classic. It's a classic. But even the comics, they actually adopted that, and he's actually running around like this half the time. So it's probably not that bad. I need to go back and watch that. Anyway, pretty good head sculpt actually. It's not the worst. He kind of looks like Robert De Niro. You know? Like you can just imagine him losing his absolute crap on top of like some kind of awards ceremony stage, giving out an Oscar to another lunatic, going on these awful rants about Donald Trump. Love him or hate him. So like, do you really want to hear about that all the freaking time? Shut up, Robert. Go make a movie. I don't want to hear about your politics, you overpaid dude. Let's go back to the Irish tradition of not talking about, you know, religion or politics in bars. Not a bad looking piece. He's actually got that mischievous look about him, that homicidal maniac, that freaking psychopath. The kind of guy that would take your parking space, you know, like the kind of guy that would probably not leave a tip. The kind of guy who would, I'm just assuming, he would probably have like some kind of penny jar set up at a gas station saying that he's got a sick kid, like a bad liver or something, or some kind of horrible disease, and he collects all these pennies for like months. And the truth is, he doesn't have a kid. He's that kind of guy. Alright, that's going to do it. Just for funsies, let's do a little size comparison. The Bullseye, 5th scale. Exclusive from Sideshow, next to Sideshow's first version of Daredevil, quarter scale premium format. The new one looks good as well, but I like this old school Daredevil. Classic suit, great concept. Man, together they look awesome. They're a little different in scale, but I think they pair up nicely. I think it looks great. Man, some of these older pieces you can pick up for cheap now. Now's the time, a good time to get into statues. You got lots of options. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of Centauri Stir Fry. Remember, spade and neuter your pets, and Magneto was right. See you next time.